Welcome everyone to our latest Site Leaders Connect Insight interview. I'm very excited tonight to have Brent Coley on the show. Brent, could you introduce yourself and tell us why you chose to be an educational leader?
All right, Catherine, thanks for having me on. I'm excited about it. Well, my name is Brent Coley. I am a elementary principal in year 5 in the Murrieta Valley Unified School District, which is in Southern California, about 45 minutes north of San Diego. Former 4th and 5th grade teacher for 15 years before I moved into admin. And why did I choose to become an educational leader? Unlike many, I never had aspirations to become a leader. People say, oh, you want to be a principal someday? Are you crazy? No. I mean, like, I was one of those, like, no way. But I was just in a meeting, an induction colloquium meeting about an hour ago, and they were talking about how sometimes people see things in you that you don't necessarily see in yourself, and kind of just kept nudging me in that direction. And I guess the short answer is I felt called to do that. It was never a career aspiration, but opportunities presented themselves, and I'm enjoying it.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that story. I actually hear that quite often, that people didn't choose to be a leader. It kind of chose them, so to speak. And what I think is encouraging about that for those of us that are leaders now is your comment that people saw things in you that you might not have seen in yourself. And so I think that we as leaders can make a difference in developing more leaders around us too. So thank you for that. Absolutely. Well, today, I know you wanted to talk about connecting with community, both staff community and school communities. Great topic. What is some insight you have gained on this topic that may be beneficial to our viewers?
Well, as far as connecting with the community, and like you said, I kind of think of the community, the staff, so the teachers, classroom teachers, support staff, and then the community, the parents, the students. In terms of connecting with the outside community, outside of the school, the staff, or excuse me, the students and the parents, I have found that we don't live in the society of 20 years ago. Whereas, for example, I've learned that, which is not going to come as a shock to a lot of people, is not everybody reads a newsletter. I mean, you can hear the gasping. Not. I mean, everybody knows that. You see newsletters crumpled up in the trash and stuck in the bottom of backpacks. So a few years ago, we stopped doing the traditional monthly school newsletter because just in talking to parents, they weren't reading it. So instead, we do send home like a monthly, here's like the things, dates to put on your calendar, things like that. But what I have chosen to do is we leverage a lot of social media. I have found I've got a school of nearly 900 students, and our Facebook page, for example, we have close to, I want to say 550 followers or whatever, friends or whatever, people following our page. And I have found that if I want to get information into the hands of our parents, of our community, I put it out on social media. If there's a reminder about our PTA family movie night, we put it out there. If it's like, hey, this is available in the front office, we put it out there. We put it on Twitter. We started recently this year an Instagram account, just so when we're taking pictures in the classroom and events, putting it up there, because again, that's kind of, especially for younger parents, that's how they get their information. They get it on Facebook, they get it on Twitter, they get it on Instagram. So we're trying to leverage that. And also, I do a monthly video message. I call it Coley Cast. I used to do a classroom podcast when I taught called Coley Cast. So now it's kind of morphed into, it's just my monthly video message to the community, where every month, at the start of the month, I sit down in front of my computer. Actually, it's my phone. I've got a little tripod, and I just basically say, hey, moms and dads, boys and girls, here's what's coming up. And I talk about some of the highlighted events that are going to take place that month. But it's a great reminder, great opportunity to talk about. So for example, the state testing, we're just finishing up. So before that, it's an opportunity for me to remind them to get good night's sleep, remind them to eat a good breakfast, remind them to be at school on time. If we're having parking problems, people not following the rules out there, it's an opportunity for me to talk about that. It's an opportunity for me to praise students and praise teachers and just really, again, try to meet parents and students where they are, because I think if you're like me, Catherine, would you rather watch something or read something? Now I could.
Oh, yeah, I'd much rather watch something. Yeah. I really like that approach. It also makes you seem more approachable, I would think, to parents as well. My question is, I love that. How do you get the videos out? Do you have an email list? Is it just via the social media? How do you get that to parents?
Great question. I put it on YouTube. So it's on YouTube. Yeah, we push it out, just kind of promote it through our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We embed it on our website at altamurieta.org. I send out the emails and the phone calls through our kind of automated district Blackboard system that we use to push it out there. The really neat thing is when parents will come up and say, oh, yeah, I watched your video. And I'm not going viral by any stretch of the imagination. But I think one of the neatest things is when little first graders will come up and say, Mr. Coley, I watched you on YouTube. Because that's what kids watch their YouTube stars and whether it's Minecraft people or whatever. And so it's like, it's trying to connect with them in a medium that they can relate to. And plus they can watch it on their phone. They can pull their phone out and they can watch it anywhere, anytime. So it's easy and it's effective.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that you're saying that you're connecting with them where they're at. And that's true. I was in a second grade classroom the other day, and I'm teaching the kids to screencast, and they sounded exactly like the YouTubers you hear that they all watch. It was so funny. Like, hi, this is so-and-so. I'm at school today and I'm going to teach you this, and truly connecting with them where they're at. I think that's a great way to go. So I know you had also wanted to talk about connecting with staff, because that's another important aspect of leadership. So what are some ways that you connect with your staff community?
One of the best, there's a lot of ways, but that we try, but one of the best ideas that one of my colleagues and good friends, another principal in our district, when I became a principal 5 years ago and I got to the school that I'm at, our staff handbook was an 84-page Word doc
that no one wants to read.
No, it's kind of like the news. If parents won't read a 2 or 3 page newsletter, they're certainly not going to read an 84-page Word doc. And I always like to say, now there was so much good stuff in there. It was from bell schedules to discipline procedures to everything was in there. But the problem was it was 84 pages. And what happens if I had to make a correction to something? I would have to go into the Word doc, save it as a PDF, re-upload it to our website, resend it out to staff, tell them to delete the old one, and only look. It was a nightmare. So one of my friends, John, he had the idea. He said, he created a Google Doc, essentially a hyper doc. So right now we went from an 84-page Word doc to a single Google Doc with clickable links. So on my Twitter page at Brent Coley, this is the pinned tweet. So if anyone is watching or listening to this and you're like, what is he talking about? You can see I've made a video on kind of explaining what I'm talking about and a tutorial on how to do it. But basically what I did is, instead of a single Word doc, I made a bunch of separate documents. So if it's the bell schedule, that's a single Google Doc. And then on the one, we call it the hub. So picture like a single website. It looks like a website, but it's a Google Doc with just a bunch of hyperlinks. So it's a one-stop shop for everything that teachers know that they need, from bell schedules, the sub forms they need to get a substitute, to computer lab schedules, to staff directories, to field trip permission slip, to, everything they need is on there. I introduced this to staff about 3 years ago at a back to school staff meeting, and they clapped. if you like think about, when's the last time teachers clapped when you introduced something new at a staff meeting? I mean,
never. It doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. But the purpose of this, and again, I take no credit. This was not an original idea, but the purpose of this is to make it easy to connect with staff, to give them a resource that they could access information easily. And the beauty of that also is they can do it on their phone. So they put that on the home screen of their phone. So, oh, what time does recess start for second grade on an early release day? Let me pull it up on the phone. I do it all the time in the front loop on days when, what time does second grade recess start? I can pull it up on my phone. What so-and-so's extension? I can pull it up on my phone. And the beauty of it is I send the link to teachers. They save it onto their desktop. They save it onto their phone. And then it's there. And if I have to make a correction, for anyone familiar with Google Docs, it's live. I don't have to resend out a new link. If I add something to the hub, it's just already there. And I just type in a little new to kind of draw attention. Hey, here's the thing. And I can send out an email to staff saying, hey, there's something new on the hub. The new field trip permission slip, it's now on the hub. That tech tool that we were talking about at last week's staff meeting, it's on the hub. My secretary loves it because teachers no longer have to go to her. Hey, darling, can I get that form? Can I get that form? It's on the hub. It's on the hub. It's on the hub. Everything is on the hub. The staff absolutely loves it because it is a time saver. It took me some time to kind of put it all together, but now that it's there, it pretty much each summer I just have to kind of change the dates on certain things, and it's not that hard to keep updated. And again, if somebody is interested, if you're like, ooh, that sounds good, again, check out the pinned tweet on my Twitter page, because I have a tutorial. You can kind of see a screenshot to kind of visualize what it looks like. But just, it's a single page Google Doc with a bunch of hyperlinks. Game changer, absolute game changer.
That is awesome. Yeah, I mean, I can remember just at school being a teacher and then being a leader, and on both ends, not being able to find something. Where did I put that paper? Which file folder did I put it in? You know, so that's awesome. Have you noticed
here?
Oh, go ahead.
So I'm holding up my iPad so you can see kind of what it looks like. A single Google Doc with hyperlinks.
That's perfect. And then even a QR code I see on there.
Yeah. So it's all there.
That's great.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, by any chance, did you have any teachers that saw that and started doing similar things in their classroom?
Not yet.
Okay.
But what a great idea. I mean, when I see this, I'm thinking like district offices need to have something. Like, imagine like a hub for the HR department. Imagine a hub for ed services where that department has their own one-stop shop. Again, that is constantly updated. So anyway.
Yeah, I love it. I've seen some leaders do something similar with sites as well, with Google Sites, since that's, you know, very, very similar idea. But this is great because it's all right there. And it would be interesting. So every once in a while, I hear about leaders doing something and then the staff will make the connection. Oh, I could do that with my students. I could talk to my parents this way. I could provide them with hyperlinks on a doc or whatever. Not always, but you know, perhaps that'll be the next step. That would be pretty exciting.
I mean, there's been talk about it, but I don't.
Okay, that's good.
I don't know how far they've gotten with that. A lot of them are using other tools like Seesaw and Class Dojo and things like that to connect with their. But
sure, which are also amazing ways for teachers to connect with parents. So that's awesome. Yep. Well, thank you so much for all of this insight you've provided, and I definitely want to encourage everyone to go onto that pinned tweet that you have on there. Is there anywhere else that you would lead people to for more information about connecting with communities?
Sure. I mean, you mentioned Twitter. I love Twitter. Whenever the learning through my professional learning community on Twitter, I mean, that's how you and I have followed each other. This is the first time I think we're talking. We talked before we started recording. First time we've ever spoken, but we followed each other and learned from each other on Twitter.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm on Twitter at Brent Coley, BrentColey.com. That's BrentColey.com. Has the resources like the one about the hub. I've got tutorial videos on there. More than anything, I would say if anyone's watching this and not on Twitter, if you want to connect with a community of teachers and with administrators, get on Twitter and do a search for fourth grade teachers if you're a fourth grade teacher, and follow those people and learn from them, because they could be on the other side of the world. But I'm a better educator today because of Twitter. I mean, you and I are talking today
because of Twitter. Yep.
Because of Twitter.
Absolutely. So. Yes. Well, thank you. I would definitely echo that Twitter, again, that is why we are talking today, which is awesome. I would say I agree. The learning curve, once I got connected on Twitter, was just, technology especially moves so quickly that if you're not on Twitter, how are you going to get that information? I mean, we get stuff really quickly, and you build these networks so that you know exactly who to go to for certain things. We don't have to be experts anymore. We have experts that we can contact. So yeah, I definitely would echo that. Thank you for spending some time with us, with our viewers. I would encourage everyone to definitely follow Brent, check out his website. He is on our siteleadersconnect.org EduLeader database. And I would encourage you, if you're looking for more educational leaders to follow on Twitter, there is a searchable database on our website that you can check out as well. So again, I just want to thank you, Brent, for being with us today. And any last minute insight for our viewers to get them going and inspire them on their journey towards connecting?
I just think pretty much I would echo what you just said, and what I had previously said is we can't do this alone. I was talking with a friend earlier this week. This is not a journey to embark upon alone. So reach out, go to Site Leaders Connect, reach out there, find other people who have the same passion, the same position, and let's learn from each other. There's too much good stuff out there to try to do it by ourselves.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much, Brent, and I hope everyone has a great day. Thanks for listening.